Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. I realize that it is 8:04, but this is our second run at this. Let me make sure we're actually live.
We're live.
Yay! I think I talked a whole 3 minutes before we realized that it showed that I was live here, but it did not show on Tanner's phone that I was live. She didn't get a notification, anything like that. So technical difficulties 1, the Buttered Home 0. But we're here and we are seeing people pop in. Y'all be sure and give us a wave. It's so good to see y'all. We are here for our final Christmas hors d'oeuvre Messy Kitchen Monday for the year. I haven't decided yet. This may be our completely last Messy Kitchen Monday for 18. We might pop in and mix a drink maybe next Monday night since it's New Year's Eve. No, you won't get any. You're not 21. But we haven't decided yet. So we're here tonight. We're going to go with this being our last food Messy Kitchen Monday for the year at the very least. So my big screw up, this is pretty funny. So I had planned all week for what I was going to do tonight. I'm going to do some really yummy chicken wings. And they're really easy, especially for all you people who own Instant Pots, because they literally take 10 minutes to cook in the Instant Pot. If you count the up to pressure time and the pressure release time, you're looking at maybe 20 minutes total, tops. But anyway, what I like to do is I like to mix up a cup of water with my seasonings and my sauce, whatever I'm going to use. Put my rack in, and then I stand up my chicken wings vertically all around. It looks like a little flower of chicken wings inside the Instant Pot when I'm done. Close the lid, seal the vent, set it to manual or pressure cook for 10 minutes, and then they are done. When they come out, they are really pretty and all seasoned up and pretty much done. Now, because they are pressure cooked, they're not crispy. So the next thing you want to do with them is you want to put them in your oven and broil them for just a little bit, and you can baste them with sauce at that point. Now my big screw up is that I was going to take a store-bought barbecue sauce and doctor it up. I like to just kind of doctor it up because I like for my stuff to be spicy and sweet. Not a huge fan of vinegar-based chicken wings. My husband is, so we kind of try to meet in the middle. I don't have any store-bought barbecue sauce, and if you live where I live, that's not always a good idea, especially whenever you've got to cook a bunch of chicken wings and have them ready to finish by 8 o'clock. So I thought, well, what better opportunity than on Messy Kitchen Monday to show you how you can turn a mess of a situation into something really good. And that's just by shopping in your own pantry or in your refrigerator. So it was kind of a challenge, but I think I've won. I don't know. You can try the recipe and let me know if you make it yourself. But I did want to go through a couple of options with you just based on what I have in the pantry or in the refrigerator. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm kind of getting over a cold, so if I sound kind of funny or out of breath, it's just because I can't breathe out of every hole in my head. But anyway, most good barbecue sauces start with a ketchup base. So what we're going to be using tonight, we'll also have a ketchup base, where it's going to be about a cup of ketchup. Now, not everybody has liquid smoke in their house. So if you like a smoky barbecue sauce, then you can just pick up some paprika. It's either Hungarian paprika or just smoked paprika. I use this stuff for everything. If you've been watching me long, you know that I like to add it to a lot of stuff. It makes dishes really savory and really good. So as a substitution for a smoked taste, you can use the smoked paprika. Also, any good barbecue sauce has got to have some Worcestershire, however you want to say it, from whatever part of the country or the pond, this side or the other, your own. But Liam Perrins is my favorite, and it doesn't take much, and it adds a really good, bold pop of flavor to any barbecue sauce. of course, honey. Honey is a no-brainer for me. I like my barbecue sauce spicy and sweet, just like me. So the sweet comes from the honey. So those are all some very basic options along with brown sugar. Most all barbecue sauce recipes have ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and brown sugar. So those are three really kind of essential elements that you want to have to add. Now, a couple of things that I like to add a little onion powder, and I like to add some cayenne pepper. Now, if you have hot sauce of any kind, you can use this instead of red pepper. But for me, because I just want just a little subtle heat, the cayenne pepper works really good. Now, another couple of options that you can add in to make your barbecue sauce sweet or a little tangy is yellow mustard and orange juice. So those are things that you can just shop in your own pantry or your own refrigerator, and most everybody has this stuff. And you know, if you don't, chances are a neighbor does. So if you're in a tight like me and forgot to do what you're supposed to do, if you don't have it, then possibly somebody in your family or a neighbor does that you can borrow. But tonight, for my recipe, I want mine a little sweet, smoky, with just a tad of heat. So what I thought that I would add would be blackberry jam. Now, blackberry jam, I always have this because I love it on my biscuits. Sometimes you can make like a fruit gravy with it, and it's so, so good. So tonight, we're gonna be using the ketchup base. We're gonna be using a little brown sugar, a little honey, a little bit of blackberry jam, along with some heat and a little onion powder. So that is going to be what we're doing, and this is not only live, it's completely live because I don't have this made yet. So we're gonna make that together, and I'm gonna show you how you can take kind of basic measurements and tweak your recipe to get it how you want it. Now the trick is, and I hope you're better at this than me, is that maybe if you do this, you write it down so that you'll have it later. That's my biggest problem that I have, is that I'll throw all this stuff together. I look like a chemist in a lab, you know, and then next time I want to do it, I don't remember how to do it. So I'm a huge proponent of taking notes. So always have in your kitchen somewhere a pencil, Rayanne, or a pen. But now a pen, you can't make corrections very easy. So always go for a pencil and some paper so you can keep up with what you've done, because chances are it's gonna be really good. So again, if you wanna know about the chicken wings, just did those in the Instant Pot with some water, salt, pepper, and a little smoked paprika and onion seasoning for 10 minutes, and then they were done. Now I'm gonna set my broiler to medium. For me, it's a 1 to 5 deal, so I set it for about 3. And now once we get the sauce mixed up, we're gonna baste the chicken wings, and we're gonna put them under the broiler for about 3 minutes, take them out, baste them, turn them, baste them again for another 3 to 5 minutes, and y'all, they're done. And they're gonna be so good. So you're actually gonna get to see that live tonight and watch me taste all this and add it and make sure that everything is just like it should be. So I'm gonna turn my broiler on. And like I said, I set it to 3. And then I'm gonna get my stuff together, and we're gonna move to the stove. And make sure I don't forget anything, which I'm apt to do. You've all seen it. Now I'm gonna move you. So hold on your hats, you might get a little sick. All right, now I'm gonna turn my camera. I'm gonna make sure that we can see my pot. Check your phone. Sorry guys, we're just making sure my camera is all good. Okay, how about now? I moved it just a hair. Okay, looks good. All right, we're gonna get started. Everybody say a little prayer. So when I do this, I get a 1 cup measuring cup to kind of start with. And the first thing that I'm gonna add is gonna be a rough cup of the blackberry jam. Now, you see this pan of chicken wings that I have, it's not a lot, so you may not need quite as much. So we're gonna dump that in, and we're gonna set our heat to medium low. And from there, we're gonna add in our ketchup. And like I said, I'm just doing a rough cup here because you want to start out with just a little, and then you can always add more. So I'm adding in the ketchup, and that's going to make a lot of noise. But these two things are going to cook down and give me the most liquid, so I'm going to put those in first. All right, now I'm going to add in just a couple of splashes of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna add in about a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And get that kind of mixed in. And the ketchup also helps it kind of thicken. We're gonna get that brown sugar broken up good in there. And you see it's pretty thick. So you can always add water to this if it's thicker than you want it. Now I'm gonna add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder and about a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And about a 1/4 cup of honey. Get those mixed in. Now I'm going to turn my heat down because it's coming up to boil pretty fast. And then I'm going to add in probably about a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now y'all, isn't that pretty? And doesn't that look like any other barbecue sauce that you buy in the store? I'll get a spoon just so you can see the color really good. And it's purpley, but it's barbecue-y. Now I'm gonna taste it.
Jasmine D's asked, what can you use if you don't have blackberry jam?
If you don't have blackberry jam, you can use just the brown sugar and the honey. I've also used strawberry and I've used grape. Now, if you use grape and strawberry, they're a little sweet. So you might want to cut back on the honey and cut back on the brown sugar. Just taste it and try it. That's the whole point of this, is so that, you know, everybody can see it's not rocket science. You can shop for what you've got and make it work. And you add enough savory to the sweet to counterbalance the sweet, and you have a barbecue sauce. The thing that helps it taste like a barbecue sauce is the ketchup. If you don't have ketchup but you have tomato paste, you can use that too. It's just going to take a little bit more of it. And what I like to do is I like to just cook this for a minute or so that it can be, you know, good and thick. But now it tasted good to me. Tanner, did you taste it?
I mean, it is good.
What does it need? What do you think it needs?
Well, I'm not as big of a fan of the sweeter barbecue sauces. I mean, it's good. It's really good, but I'm like Daddy.
You want it a little tangier?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what we can do. This is the great thing, y'all. You know what you can do if you want to kick it up and add a little more vinegary taste to it? Take that bottled hot sauce you got and add it in. If you like more heat, add a little more red pepper. Things like that. All right, now let her give it a taste. That's it. See, all it took was 2 shakes of that hot sauce to give her just enough vinegar and enough heat to counteract that sweet.
Okay, Lori Dukes asked if she has liquid smoke, how much does she use?
I would use very little. I would say probably an eighth. Start with about an eighth of a teaspoon because that stuff is strong. If it's too much, then you kind of got to start over. So maybe just a drop or 2 and build it from there. It's always best, same way with salt, that you start small, and if you need to add to it, you can, but you can't ever take it away. So I would suggest starting with an eighth or even a 1/16 of a teaspoon and just go up from there to get it to the levels that you want. I don't keep liquid smoke, I don't use it, so I couldn't tell you. It's easier for me to give you a measurement on the smoked paprika than it is that, but I do know that it is strong and it's potent. So the less the better, because you can just build on that. So we have this really pretty purpley brown barbecue sauce. And if you're just joining us, we're doing chicken wings with the oops, I don't have barbecue sauce. So we made our own barbecue sauce. We made it with blackberry jam. We made it with ketchup. We added smoked paprika, onion powder, cayenne pepper, honey, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, and for Tanner, a dash or 2 of vinegar-based hot sauce. So all that kind of balances out. And in about 3 minutes, we cooked it, and we have this really pretty sauce that I'm gonna take and just baste on my chicken wings. If you're also just joining us, these chicken wings were done in my boyfriend appliance, my Instant Pot. And what I had in there was a cup of water, the trivet that comes with it, and then I seasoned the chicken wings with salt, pepper, a little smoked paprika, and then I put a cup of water in the bottom of the Instant Pot, stood them up vertically on the trivet, and cooked it on manual or pressure cook for 10 minutes. Took them out, put them on my pan, and they look like this. They're essentially done, but they're not crispy. So what you want now is that crispy, yummy, gooey stuff that you all know and love for chicken wings. So we made our sauce because I didn't get any to doctor up. And I think this is probably a better option for Messy Kitchen Monday, because this shows you how even if you're not prepared, you can work on the fly. So now I have my broiler set to medium, and I'm gonna place these in there for just a couple of minutes. It won't take long. Some of the options that we went through for our barbecue sauce were a mustard base. Ketchup, I think, is gonna be what you add for anything, and then you just kind of build on it from there. And what I did for these is about a cup of ketchup and about a cup of blackberry jam. Now, I added all that stuff to it. You don't have to add all that stuff to it. You could actually take butter and just the hot sauce and combine those two. Now, it's gonna be really thin, but if you like that hot sauce based sauce for your wings, that's all it takes is just hot sauce and butter. So I would say probably about a half a cup of each, which is a stick of butter to a half a cup of hot sauce, and maybe a little seasoning salt. I know a lot of people add a little seasoning salt to that, and makes it really good and kind of salty, but kind of vinegary too. We like sweet heat here, and now my kids like the hot sauce base, so that's what we added in, just a little bit of that. That's the great thing about doing this, is when you're not prepared, you can kind of prepare it how you want. A lot of times whenever you buy something at the store, it may not be quite what you want. So this way it gives you the option of taking it and making it your own. So they've been in there about a minute and they're sizzling up real good. So we're gonna give them a minute more and y'all can just listen to me talk. If you have any questions, shoot them now. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
So Cliff asked, when do you add the moonshine at the end?
Yes, and you can actually, Cliff, you can tilt your pan, and if you have a gas stove, you can flambe it if you want to. But we're not going to do that for insurance purposes at the Buttered Home, but what a great question. That's our cousin, by the way. He lives in North Alabama. You know, they're mountain folks. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them now. I may not know the answer, but if I don't, I'll sure find out and we can get back to you with the answer. Hold her. All right, now I'm going to take these out so you can see how pretty they're becoming. They're good and sizzling and popping. Now what I like to do, and of course it's not necessary, but this side that we just cooked, I'm just gonna dab them a little more. Hey, is everybody through Christmas shopping? I am. It's gonna be a small Christmas at the Buttered Home this year, so it didn't take long. I tell you what, when your kids get older, man, it gets harder to shop for them. Can I get anybody to agree with that? Especially if you have girls. Woo! This is the second year where I have a boy to buy for him. I have a nephew, a little bitty sweet nephew. And I thought shopping for girls was hard. I've never had a boy. I don't know what to do with boys. So now I've got those basted one more time. I'm going to flip them over. And this will be a good way for you to see how quick they crisp up in the oven, because this side, you know, hasn't been exposed to the broiler nor the sauce. And now one thing, I cooked these for 10 minutes in the Instant Pot. They were not frozen. If they were frozen, you could cook them for about 15. What? Got it.
Cliff has lots of questions.
Oh, yeah. Cliff, we might have to answer all your questions later. All right, so we're going to baste these. And because these, I haven't hit these with much seasoning or anything else, you can see how pretty the sauce is. And now there's all other kind of things you can do too. I've made barbecue sauce and added a little rosemary, and that gives it a little sweetness and earthy taste. But as you all know, Big D does not like rosemary, so we're not doing rosemary tonight. I would love rosemary in them. And I think Tanner would. I don't think Danny and Reagan like herbs as much as we do. Yeah, they're a little difficult. But we love them. And you see, they're getting what they want. And Tanner and I are in here doing all the work. Mm-hmm. Although Tanner did get hot sauce added. All right, so these are going to go back under the broiler for another couple of minutes. And I love doing chicken wings because they're so quick and they're so easy. And I'm going to move the camera, so bear with me. Because in just a minute, these will be done and I can take them out and show you how pretty they are. And we won't be able to eat them, they'll be too hot. But anyway, just to recap what I did tonight, I did about a cup of ketchup, half a cup of blackberry jam, roughly about 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 cup of honey, about 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2-3 shakes of Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper is what I season the chicken with, a little bit of onion powder, cayenne pepper, and some smoked paprika. And then at the end, because one of my spoiled children asked me to, I put a couple of shakes of hot sauce in there. So that is always an option. And it really does taste good. You know, food and seasonings is just like life. It's all about balance. You find what you like and you kind of balance that out with everything else so that you can be at a good happy medium. So let me check these. Yeah, they're about done. See, that didn't take long, did it? We did all this in less than 20 minutes. So I'm gonna get a plate and get these out and show you guys how pretty they are. After I make a whole bunch of noise, and if you see back here, I don't know if you can see my counter, I've got stuff everywhere. So when you cook them in the Instant Pot, they're done. So all we've done here tonight is just kind of crisp them up. So I like to hit them one more time with the sauce as they come out. And ideally, the longer they sit with the sauce, it kind of thickens on it and makes it this really gooey, finger-licking good stuff. But in the essence of time management tonight, we're just going to take these and just show them to you. And there you have it. Perfectly good, sweet and spicy chicken wings in less than 30 minutes. Because once you put them under the broiler, it doesn't take long at all. Do not walk away from the oven because they will burn, and they will burn faster than you can say, "Is my chicken burning?" So I will try to post this recipe since it is a Messy Kitchen Monday original that we developed right here with all of you watching tonight. So my fail hopefully has turned into a win. But from the Buttered Home, we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. Give your family a big hug and a big kiss. Cook good food for them. And maybe we'll see you on New Year's Eve. We might mix us a drink or something. But either way, y'all have a wonderful Christmas. And stay tuned for more good stuff in 2019 because we've got some big plans for you and the Buttered Home. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and we love you. Bye-bye.